Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Thailand, as Thailand is one of my favorite travel destinations in the world, and it has been in the news recently as it looks like Thailand is starting to open up for international travel. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the new rules for travel to Thailand, if Thailand really is open for international travelers and who can travel to Thailand, as well as some of my favorite destinations in Thailand that I think you guys will love. Thailand is an amazing place for digital nomads and location independent workers. And with the new visa regulations and the fact that Thailand is starting to open up, it might be a really good place for people like me or like you, if you're watching this and you fall into those categories, to head to Thailand for a few months this summer and work remotely from a beach, from a beautiful city, from the mountains, or any part of Thailand that your heart desires. So first off, I want to say that Thailand is one of my absolute favorite travel destinations in the world. I have been there 4 or 5 times in the last few years, and if it wasn't for what happened in the last year, I definitely would be going back again and again and again. I don't know what it is exactly that I love about that country, but I love the food, I love the food culture and the night markets. I love that you can explore the temples in the north and then you can go to the beaches and islands in the south, and there just always seems to be some new beautiful place to explore and a new adventure to be had. It really is the most amazing country, and it is said that Thailand attracted over 40 million international tourists in 2019. So I'm definitely not the only person that thinks Thailand is amazing. Sadly, in the last year there hasn't been very many tourists at all, but hopefully that will change as Thailand is starting to open up again this summer. So what is the situation in Thailand right now? Is Thailand really open for international travel, and what are the current restrictions? So the quick answer is that yes, Thailand is open. I think it's been open for a few months now, but you have had to do the 10 days or 14 days mandatory hotel quarantine. That is now changing, starting with Phuket and starting in July. They say that anyone that has been vaccinated and has the full vaccination can travel to Phuket in July and will not have to do the mandatory hotel quarantine. Then starting in October, there are going to be a few more regions added that you can travel to without doing the mandatory hotel quarantine. So those locations are, I'm going to have to look at this list, Koh Samui, Phang Nga, Krabi, Phuket, Pattaya and Chiang Mai. So there is a whole list of places starting in October that if you are fully vaccinated, you can travel to and you will not have to do mandatory hotel quarantine. For all other places in Thailand, you still will, but they have actually reduced the quarantine between 7 and 10 days instead of the 14 days that it used to be. And you will also have to do PCR COVID tests on arrival and before you leave the quarantine period. Another thing to keep in mind is that this visa-free travel is open to people from most countries, but not all. You're all of Europe or most of Europe and the United States, lots of places in the United Arab Emirates, a few places in Asia and South America. So you can travel visa-free to Thailand for 30 days. A few countries can actually travel for 90 days. And if you're like a digital nomad or you work location independent and you want to stay longer, you can actually apply for a special visitor permit, special visitor visa, and you can stay for longer than 3 months. Okay, so now that all the crazy details are out of the way, I want to talk to you guys about why I love Thailand and some of my favorite places to visit in Thailand in case you're planning a trip there this summer. So most people that travel to Thailand will probably start their trip in Bangkok. Now, of course, that might be a bit different this year with the new sort of quarantine-free zones, but if you are going to be starting your trip in Bangkok, here are a few of my top tips. First of all, I recommend checking out the temples and palaces around the city. There is so much culture and history to be found in this incredible capital city of Thailand. And once you have tired your legs out visiting the amazing temples and palaces, then head to one of the night markets in the evening for the most mouth-watering Thai cuisine you're going to find in the city. I absolutely love the night markets in Bangkok. You can eat creepy crawlies, you can eat chicken satay, lots of different types of curry, seafood feasts. You can have amazing smoothies and juices, and you can kind of just wander around and get lost in the hustle and bustle of the market, soaking it all up and just trying food whenever you feel like it. If you're looking for something a little bit more unique to do at Bangkok, I recommend checking out the Unicorn Cafe. I had a lot of fun there. I got to dress up in a unicorn onesie. The whole cafe is like super pink and purple. You will get a total sugar rush. Everything is very intensely filled with sugar and very multicolored, but it's a very fun place to spend an afternoon. Once you are done with Bangkok, I highly recommend heading up north towards Chiang Mai and stopping off to check out the temples in Singapore and Ayutthaya. I actually did a 2-day temple tour, and I got a local guide to take me to some of these amazing temples north of Bangkok. I really liked getting a local guide as she was able to tell me all the history and culture involving these temples, but we also stopped along the way at these amazing food stalls, and I was able to kind of eat like a local and understand what she eats for breakfast, what she eats for lunch, what locals in Thailand eat on an everyday basis. And it was sort of a mixture between a temple tour and a food tour, which is probably the best of both worlds.
Long history more than Ayutthaya is 900 years ago, and the place is like the camping for fighting with enemy by the willows, and after then enemy go to Ayutthaya. And this is the Buddha no head, because the enemy cut the Buddha head, come back the country because inside Buddha have a gold.
Okay, so we've covered the night markets, we've covered Bangkok, we've covered some temples, but most people going to Thailand will probably want to head right down south to the beautiful beaches and islands such as Koh Phangan, Koh Tao, Koh Lanta, and maybe even the coastline along Ao Nang and Krabi. So one of my favorite places is Ao Nang. I stayed in an amazing hotel there, had this crazy floating breakfast in the pool, and I was able to fly my drone out over the islands. You can go down to some of the most beautiful beaches, just like in James Bond or in The Beach, and you can imagine this crazy blue turquoise water, white sand, those beautiful boats that you see everywhere in Thailand, and really is just picture perfect, postcard perfect paradise. So definitely recommend checking out that area. As always, there's also amazing food, there's lots of fun adventures to be had. You can rent a scooter and drive around, or you can head out on a boat trip. So those are probably some of my favorite places to visit in Thailand: the temples up north, Bangkok, and of course the beaches and islands down south. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really can't wait until we can travel back to Thailand, one of my favorite travel destinations. And I think I'm going to make more videos like this as countries start to open up this summer, telling you guys about the restrictions and whether you need to do mandatory hotel quarantine or not, and whether you need to be vaccinated. So I really hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I really hope that I'm going to make it back to Thailand sometime this year. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing to my channel down below.